Don't worry, everybody. The Department of Justice has it all figured out. Pam Bondi, she's on the case. Remain calm. They figured out how they're going to solve the problem caused by Judge Curry on Monday bouncing Lindsey Halligan out of her position as the U.S. Attorney, Eastern District of Virginia. Don't worry. They got a memo with a typo in it. They don't know how to spell the word attorney from the Office of Legal Counsel. They got a couple of other people that are going to sign the documents alongside Lindsey Halligan. They pulled out of effectively retirement some senior lawyer in Kentucky, Robert K. McBride, who used to be an assistant U.S. attorney. Good, somewhere. Where? In Kentucky a million years ago. They're going to make him babysit Lindsey Halligan. Todd Blanche is going to sign some documents and paperwork, and they're going to figure out whether they're going to appeal. 4 days later, they still have not appealed the decision by Judge Curry, which by her order created a vacancy. And then let's have an update on what the Eastern District of Virginia judges, the 18 judges of the Eastern District, what are they doing? They should be meeting round the clock to fill the position, but they're scared that Donald Trump's going to fire that person. I'm Michael Popok. You're on Legal AF. This is Black Friday. Not for me, anyway. Anyway, let's get right to it. While you're here, hit the subscribe button. Help us build our channel. Monday, Judge Curry makes her ruling in the Letitia James prosecution and in the companion case against James Comey. And she says the exact same thing in her order in conclusion. She says in paragraph 6 of the Comey order and in paragraph 7 of the Letitia James order, she says the power to appoint an interim U.S. attorney for the Eastern District pursuant to 28 U.S.C. Section 546 during the current vacancy that she created by firing Lindsey Halligan, finding she was illegally appointed, lies with the district court until a U.S. attorney is nominated by the president and confirmed by the Senate under another statute dealing with the appointment clause. Okay, that's where we were on Monday. Now, scramble. First thing they do, apparently, is they send out an email and tell everybody, get Lindsey Halligan's name off of everything. She's listed as the U.S. attorney, get her name off. And don't sign anything with her name on it. A couple hours later, the Office of Legal Counsel, according to Bloomberg Law, issues a new memo. And the memo instructs that they're going to create a new signature block for Lindsey Halligan. She's used to signing things, United States of America, Department of Justice, U.S. Attorney Lindsey Halligan. No. Now they're going to list her as the United States Attorney and Special United States Attorney. I feel like I'm in A Few Good Men. Oh, now it's a Special United States Attorney. Except in the memo issued by the Office of Legal Counsel, a once respected institution, they spelled the word attorney wrong. Let's leave it at that. Now, what are they trying to do there? Oh, they also said that the first assistant, the newly appointed Mr. McBride, right? All the way over from Kentucky, Bob McBride, he needs to sign everything too. And put Todd Blanche's name on there too. So it's like belt and suspenders and suspenders and suspenders holding this whole thing up. All right, let's unpack this. And then where's the appeal? We're 4 days later, there's no appeal. Courts are open on Wednesday. Courts are open today. File the notice of appeal if you think you got a notice of appeal. They said they were going to immediately appeal. We're 4 days out and there's no appeal. Now, if something happens over the weekend, I'll update you on the Substack where I do live reporting. But for right now, there's no appeal. Okay. Special United States Attorney. What's that all about? Well, she's trying to use language in the Constitution that allows the Attorney General to appoint special attorneys. That's where special counsel come from. That's where Jack Smiths come from. Of course, they didn't like it when an unconfirmed special counsel in Jack Smith was, not confirmed by the Senate, was used as a prosecutor against Trump. And they argued to Aileen Cannon, the judge down in Florida, they argued to her, he has to be appointed and it violates the appointment clause and he wasn't confirmed by the Senate and the judge in the Mar-a-Lago matter, Cannon, bought it. Yeah. But now that they're in office, Lindsey Halligan's busy manufacturing special attorneys. Alina Habba, U.S. attorney, acting interim U.S. attorney, whatever it is in New Jersey, and special attorney with all the powers of the U.S. attorney. Every time they can't get one of these crackpots through the Senate confirmation process, like John Sarconi in the Northern District of New York, or Alina Habba in the District of New Jersey, or Lindsey Halligan here, they think they can do it by way of special attorney appointment, holding all the powers of the U.S. attorney. Then why have a U.S. attorney? Then why have an officer have to be confirmed through the Senate and the appointment clause? That makes no sense. It's constitutionally infirm. I don't know what they're smoking or what edible they're eating over at the Department of Justice. But this is the new Office of Legal Counsel, the OLC memo. Typo, attorney, special attorney, and U.S. attorney, and interim U.S. attorney. Then everybody sign on top of it. So that's what they're trying to do. Again, this is 180 degrees from what they argued when Trump argued, and his lawyers at the time, Todd Blanche, the number 2 in the Department of Justice, Emil Bovee, now the Third Circuit Court of Appeals judge, they argued the opposite. No special attorney can hold the power of a prosecutor. Okay, what do you do here? That's what Judge Curry said to Mr. Whitaker from the Department of Justice when he argued a couple of weeks ago to try to save Lindsey Halligan's job. She said, are you familiar with Judge Curry's ruling about unappointed, unconfirmed prosecutors? And do you agree with it? Well, it's not precedent here in the Eastern District of Virginia. All right. Now I'm wondering, besides that scramble, and apparently the career prosecutors, the sphincter has completely closed in that office. Nobody's filing anything. They don't know whose name to put on it. Do we put Bob McBride's name on it and then Blanche along with Halligan? What is happening there? Of course, the defense bar in the Eastern District of Virginia are rubbing their hands in glee. All this is to their benefit, right? When bad things happen in your case, make them happen slower. So you got all that going on. And apparently nobody can get their ass from outside or from within their you-know-what, out of their you-know-what. So there's no appeal, but it's a 1-page notice of appeal if you really felt you had an appellate argument. Now let's turn to Mr. McBride. Welcome, Mr. McBride. Apparently you're the wildcatter who's going to put out the big fire at the Department of Justice. What's your background? Well, I think he's about my vintage, maybe a few years older. He was a prosecutor for 15 years. He was in the JAG Corps, in the military for 10 years. He was a national security prosecutor out of Kentucky. I don't know how many national security cases they get in Kentucky, but he did that. Then he went into private practice with some Kentucky law firm. You notice I haven't said Eastern District of Virginia at all. And I guess they were like, well, he's a Federalist Society guy. I don't know if he's MAGA or not, but he's certainly right wing. I guess he saw his opportunity to go babysit Lindsey Halligan. See, I've always said, where is the babysitter? Where is the mentor for the mentee, Lindsey Halligan? She had nobody with her in the grand jury room when, according to Magistrate Judge Fitzpatrick, she violated the 4th Amendment, the 5th Amendment, and the 6th Amendment when she presented her case about James Comey. There was nobody with her when she went in for Letitia James at all. Zero. Judge Curry already observed that in her review of the grand jury transcripts. And I always said, forget his name on pieces of paper. Where is the seasoned prosecutor to sit next to this neophyte in Lindsey Halligan and guide her through a process that she had never handled before? She'd never been in federal court before, I'm sure. She was an automobile accident insurance lawyer in Florida. You rarely go to federal court there, folks. Where was that person? Where was Todd Blanche originally? Why didn't he come down and babysit her? Where's Pam Bondi? Where was Stan Woodward? Where was any of the upper echelon of the Department of Justice that had some modicum of federal prosecutor experience? None of them were there. Now they're like, now that the milk is spilt and the cow's out of the barn, now they bring in Bob McBride. Welcome. That'll go down in your obituary. That you try to help out Lindsey Halligan. And they're going to sign his name to everything. Okay. That doesn't help matters. Their only hope is that they get the 4th Circuit Court of Appeals and then the United States Supreme Court to overturn not just Judge Curry's decision, but all the decisions that are coming out against Donald Trump. I joked recently that Donald Trump is finally right. There is an illegals problem in the United States of America. But I'm not talking migration and immigration. I'm talking the illegally appointed U.S. attorneys. The one in New Jersey, Alina Habba, bounced. And it's about to be affirmed at the Third Circuit Court of Appeals coming out of Philadelphia any minute now. Nevada, acting interim special attorney, bounced by the judge there. And now this one. Every judge that's looked at one of these has said that Donald Trump has violated Section 546 and the Vacancy Reform Act, and that he can't do what he's doing. Just keep seriatim appointing another U.S. attorney and give him a special attorney title that even he doesn't believe in. Even his Department of Justice doesn't believe in. So welcome, Mr. McBride. Welcome the typo-ridden memo from the Office of Legal Counsel. And now you're going to have to take your appeal. I don't know who's going to prosecute that appeal. I don't know who's left in the Department of Justice that knows how to handle an appeal, especially to the Fourth Circuit. Even McBride, he plied his trade in the Sixth Circuit, which is a Kentucky right wing. Fourth Circuit's not right wing, Mr. McBride. And so they're going to have to file that notice. In the meantime, they're acting like nothing to see here. They're ignoring and flouting the order of Judge Curry, creating the vacancy, acting like there's no vacancy to fill, that she hasn't been vacated. Apparently, according to insiders, Lindsey Halligan barely shows up at the office anyway. In the 7 or 8 weeks she's been in the office, nobody's seen her. So it's not like she's trying to use her card swiper and it's not working. They're letting her in. They're just like Alina Habba. So we'll follow what happens with this Office of Legal Counsel while there's an appeal that hasn't been appealed with Mr. McBride and Lindsey Halligan. It's a mad scramble going on there. You ever notice that at the heart of all these scandals that we talk about on Legal AF, it all comes down, besides Trump, to Pam Bondi. Epstein cover-up scandal, Pam Bondi. Things related to Abrego Garcia and the violation of immigrants' rights and due process rights and the violation of court orders and the contempt proceedings starting by judges, Pam Bondi. Lindsey Halligan gets bounced, Pam Bondi. Alina Habba gets bounced, Pam Bondi. If anybody needs to get fired right now, it's Pam Bondi, And that would make, in my mind, I think they would elevate Todd Blanche, because he's the only adult in the room over the Department of Justice, and make him the Attorney General. I don't think he already got confirmed once. I don't think they'd try to bring in some other cuckoo crazy Laura Loomer special. I think they would just stick with him, elevate him, and move the rest around. But I'll continue to follow it. I'm glad you're here on Thanksgiving Friday on Legal AF. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for our audience. And I'm thankful if you'll hit the subscribe button, help us continue to grow. Come over to Legal AF Substack and you can become a full-fledged card-carrying member of the Legal AF community there as well. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event, by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.